Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Kerry Farrell, founder of Kerry Farrell Coaching, and a breakup and divorce coaching specialist in helping people navigate separation, toxic relationships, and emotional abusive breakups. After her own difficulty split, Kerry decided to dedicate herself to guide others through the confusion, pain, and chaos of divorce, giving clarity, emotional support, practical guidance, and helping clients rebuild confidence and control over their own lives. Kerry, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Lovely to be here.
It's lovely to have you here, and I'm excited to dive in and learn more about your journey. So typically with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind taking me back to, or briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up the company, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
So before I went into the divorce coaching, I was in waste management, account management for 20 years. So completely different sector. I'd kind of fallen out of love with the industry, and I thought, there's got to be something that I can do where I'm helping people. And then I saw an advert for training to be a divorce coach. Now, I went through a very traumatic divorce in 2020, and I thought if I can just help one person to not feel the way I felt in 2020, I'd be happy. And so I did the training, and here we are today, and we are Kerry Farrell Coaching.
Beautiful. So how did you find that jump from obviously being employed and a pretty corporate position as well into like entrepreneurship and a very new field of coaching for yourself?
Pretty tough, actually. I thought I knew how difficult it would be. I had no clue. It was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Luckily, we have a very, very good marketing consultant, Cordelia Kate, who has helped us beyond belief. Without her, I think it would be a completely different story. But yeah, the jump was incredibly tough.
Yeah, I think I appreciate it because I think it happens to a lot of founders coming into that space. You know, they have their zone of brilliance, and even though like purpose in life, which was yours to help people navigate divorce, which isn't an easy topic to approach anyway. So it's amazing you've had that support coming through and really helping you thrive in those early stages. So let's dive into the business a little bit more then. So walk me through, who would you say at this point like is your ideal customer? And then from there, how is it you help them and how do you support them?
So we typically look after men. It's a
Okay.
divorce coaching business, predominantly for men. And the reason that I decided to go with that niche is because my husband was in a very abusive relationship before I met him. He got
Interesting.
very little support during his divorce and his breakup. And I wanted to give something back, and I wanted to be there for men. When I looked into doing the divorce coaching, I obviously did a lot of snooping around other people's websites, and they seemed quite tailored towards women,
Mm.
with some even making men kind of the enemy. And so I thought, there seems to be something missing here. So we decided to be divorce and breakup coaches for men.
Amazing. So walk me through and what would it be like to work with you? So is this like more on a one-to-one level? How would you support these men coming through
Yeah,
or
so
going
it's
through a divorce?
one to one. We will work with anybody across the country because it's all done via Teams. Typically, what we do is we build a niche program, so a program built for that person.
Yeah.
It used to be one-to-one coaching, which was kind of done by the hour. I felt that that wasn't really structured enough. So we now do something called
Mm.
the rebuild program. And what that does is that takes the client from initially finding out that they're getting a divorce right through until the end when they're ready to move on. Now, this
Yeah.
can take 4 to 5 months. They have constant support throughout that time, one-to-one coaching at least once a week, and they have access to me via phone and WhatsApp if they need me. If something terrible happens during the week, if they get a solicitor's letter they weren't expecting,
Yeah.
or something happens with their ex-partner, I'm there so that they have that support.
I love it. So a very like custom and hands-on approach as well, which is amazing. And then, so typically what kind of issues do you help these men overcome? Or what would you say is like the first thing, the main boundary they have to get through when going through a divorce?
I think initially it's the shock. It
Yeah.
becomes such a shock. If they are not the one who's instigated that breakup, it can be a tremendous shock. And then it's the practicalities of not seeing their children as
Mm.
often and not living with their children anymore. That's huge. And then as you move forward through the process, it becomes more around the financial side. and the legal side. So although I can't offer legal advice, I can be there to support people. I can be there to signpost them in the right direction. And it's really holding their hand and being that support throughout the process.
Yeah, because divorce is such a big transition, and I suppose no one is ever like prepared for it to happen or to come up. You don't go through life wanting a divorce, so it's one of those
No,
navigating the changes. It must be very sensitive and like a lot of deep work as well with people to help maybe
yeah.
rebuild confidence and learn to trust again as well on the other end of it.
I think people really underestimate that they're going to come out of the process. Well, not come out of the process, but during the process, they feel
Yeah,
like they've lost themselves. They feel like they've lost their identity. They're no longer part of a couple. So we do a lot of work around rebuilding identity and finding out who they really are.
yeah, that's amazing. And then also as well, you mentioned earlier with that the stigma of a man going through the divorce is very different to a woman. They often
Mm-hmm.
get painted as a villain, or it's all their fault,
Yeah,
or they're doing what they can to punish the female part in the relationship. So again, having that experience and maybe coming from a woman's point of view, do you tend that tends to help the clients more that you're working with because you have that other perspective coming into it as well?
I think so. I think men like the fact that they've got somebody who's not judgmental.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of market research in the last couple of weeks, and actually, the fact that I'm a woman doesn't seem to bother the clients and the prospective clients at all. They just
yeah,
want somebody who's there for them, who gets it. I've been divorced twice, so I get it. Who is non-judgmental and is just somebody who's going to listen and give them some honest feedback and some honest support. You
yeah.
can talk to your friends and family, but men always say to me that their friends tend to say things like, "Come on, mate, man up." And that's not helpful.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's also speaking to somebody that's outside of your inner circle must be a great advantage as well, because there's also maybe a lot of, especially with men, a lot of shame or lack of dignity that comes with a divorce that maybe they can't open up to people around that don't really understand what they're going through as well.
I think so. I think people underestimate exactly or or how damaged that men
Yeah.
feel and how upset they are. You know, there's the anxiety, the depression that can go along with a breakup or divorce. Men aren't always very good at opening up, but you find that once they start, there's no stopping them.
Yeah. It's like a tap.
Yeah.
Once it's open, or like buses, I guess, once they come in, they're all on the
Oh
way.
yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And Kerry, I do wanted to get into the nuts and bolts a little bit of the business.
Mhm.
So, in terms of marketing, I know there you mentioned you had a marketing strategist or agency that are
Yeah.
helping you kind of thing. So, like, what strategies or what platforms are you finding most effective in reaching
So
people?
at the
Gain
moment, I use LinkedIn. All my clients to date have come from LinkedIn. Now
amazing.
I know that I can't use that, for forever. I'm looking at different options, but I'm a big user of LinkedIn, and all my clients have come from there so far. We are looking at other ways of getting ourselves out and marketing ourselves, but at the
Mm,
moment, it's really LinkedIn that we're focusing on.
nice. And is it purely organic as well on LinkedIn, or are you like running any form of advertisements to bring in some traffic and help with the
Not doing any
consistency?
advertising, but I post a lot. I must drive my followers absolutely insane. I'm there like 3 times a day, personal things, funny things, and business things. It's a nice mix. People know me
Yeah.
quite well on LinkedIn. It's like, oh, here she is again.
Here she is again. Oh, here she is again. We've got Kerry
Oh
coming through.
God, not again. Why? Why?
No, but the consistency is so important, especially with that organic side of it. You know, you do want to be top of mind and you do want people
Mhm.
to know you as a person because it's a very personal relationship with the coaching aspect as well, you
Yeah.
know. So I'm assuming that when you do onboard a client or if you're going through any form of like pre-talk beforehand, is it important to you that it's a good fit for you as well before moving forward?
It is. I wouldn't work with everybody.
Yeah.
You have to have that trust and that bond with somebody almost. I'll
Mm,
do a half hour of free consultation, at least half an hour. We'll go through everything that's going on with that client, all the challenges and all the concerns that they've got, because I can't build a program unless I know everything. And
hmm.
then I'll build the program, I'll show them it, and then we'll tweak it because it needs to have a desired outcome that suits the client.
Yeah.
Once they're happy with that, then we start.
Beautiful. And then we rock and roll from there. And do you have a team that are helping you as well, carry on the back end of things, like maybe with the sales side of things, or just alleviating some of those jobs as a founder from yourself?
It's mainly me. I do the coaching, I do most of the work. I have Cordelia, who we just couldn't live without. My husband's there in the background. He's very supportive, but if I'm honest, it's mainly down to me. It's
And
tiring.
how it is tiring. And obviously, coming into it, you have obviously got a little big finance experience coming in, but was there anything that you could have drawn that has really helped you kind of navigate your way through all those tasks that you're juggling at the moment?
I think we should have got Cordelia in sooner than we did. Yeah. I think I thought I knew how to do things. I didn't know anything.
That's
And I
fair
think
enough.
it was a bit, it was a bit of a shock realizing that I didn't know. And once we got her on board, everything fell into place.
Yeah, and that's good to see, and also that it's a nice fit from your side as well, because that's part of the challenge of being a founder, is handing the reins over to somebody that you don't necessarily know, and building that trust is a
Yeah.
big step in moving forward.
You have to trust them enough that you believe what they say and you go with what they say. If you
Yeah.
don't have that bond with them, if you don't sort of have that trust, you wouldn't want to believe what and just go with everything they said.
Yeah, values are key there. And then, so what are your plans moving forward? So, like, when you think of the next 6 to 12 months, what is your goal and what is that end vision for you?
We are going to make huge changes. We've done a lot of market research in the last couple of weeks. It's challenged a lot of the expectations and the assumptions that I had. It's proved that I'm right about some things. It's proved that I'm very wrong about others. So we will be making huge changes, offering different platforms for coaching, not just one-to-one, and also opening the business up to women.
Beautiful. So, are you planning to maybe bring in any form of like a community and then a group session as well, just to increase
Yeah.
your stretch? Yeah.
The market research has shown that people want different platforms. They want one-to-one coaching, but they want it backed up by something that's a little bit more peer-led, community-led.
Mm.
They want to be able to bounce ideas off people. It's all very well talking to one person, but I'm not going through a divorce at the moment. I'm quite happy. I think they want to speak to somebody who's in the same situation as them and be able to bounce those ideas off them.
Yeah, I fully see that. The camaraderie in numbers is always
Yeah,
so powerful, and just as you say, having someone else going through that exact same situation as you at the same time,
exactly.
it's just nice to have a shoulder to lean on when you need it that isn't a form of a coach sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I suppose, where are you finding the biggest challenge for yourself in making that next step and scaling the business?
We'd like more money. I think you can never have enough money. I'd love more money to do advertising and marketing. So that's the challenge. And I think just knowing what to do next, sometimes you have to believe, you have to have the confidence in yourself. More money, more confidence. Maybe that's what we're lacking at the moment.
So believe in yourself. And then I suppose, if you did have like unlimited resources or something that you could tap into, what would be the first thing you would implement or change in the business?
I think we'd market and do much more marketing and advertising. We'd
Yeah.
really want to build the brand so that people knew it, trusted it, and we were the go-to for divorce coaching and breakups. I think I would like to be able to do more one-to-one work on a group level. That doesn't make sense, does it? But you know
It
what I
does.
mean,
Yeah.
working with people but in groups,
Yeah.
so that we could have events where people could come and get that support and do the rebuild program in a day.
Beautiful. And then I suppose your ambition as well, would you like to have a team of coaches as well helping
Yeah,
you on the other end one day?
eventually that's the aim. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And so, Kerry, I have one final question to ask you before we log out. So, if you could go back in time to a younger self, maybe at the start of your own entrepreneurship journey, and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now but that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
I think come out of your comfort zone. Don't just do the things that you're comfortable with. Things like podcasts, things like interviews with people, and anything that slightly pushes you slightly, but is going to be a benefit to the company. Just go for it. Take it by the reins and absolutely go for it. Just smash it.
Beautiful. I love it. And what a great way to end the podcast. And Kerry, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today,
you.
for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you, connect with you, and just check out all the amazing stuff they're up to at the moment?
So I've got a website, kerryfarrell.co.uk, and I'm very big on LinkedIn. I'm always there. You'll find me on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. Kerry Farrell on LinkedIn as well, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And thank you again for joining us. And to our
Thank you.
listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.